The gleaming black Mercedes sat in our driveway like an insult. 3 weeks after Mom's funeral, and there was Leonard, grinning as he polished its hood with a microfiber cloth, as if he hadn't just spent what should have been my inheritance on his midlife crisis. I'm Danielle, and until recently I thought I knew what grief felt like. Turns out, watching your stepfather splurge on luxury cars while your mother's memory is still fresh in the ground is a whole different kind of pain. Beautiful, isn't she? Leonard called out as I walked up the driveway. Come take a look at the interior. Italian leather. I forced a smile, the kind Mum taught me to use in uncomfortable situations. Wow, Leonard. That's quite something. Your mother would have loved it, he said, and something inside me snapped. The casual way he threw Mom's name around, like he had any right to guess what she would have wanted. My phone buzzed. A text from Reagan. Still on for coffee? You sound like you need it. I have to go, I told Leonard, already backing away. Meeting Reagan. At the coffee shop, Reagan took one look at my face and ordered me a double-shot espresso. Spill it, she said, sliding into our usual corner booth. He bought a Mercedes, I said, my hands shaking slightly as I wrapped them around the warm cup. A brand new Mercedes, Reagan. Mum's been gone 3 weeks. That doesn't add up, Reagan frowned. Wasn't your mom's life insurance supposed to go to me? Yeah. I took a sip of coffee, burning my tongue. Leonard said there were complications with the policy, that it would take time to sort out. But somehow he has money for a luxury car. Have you seen any paperwork? No. He keeps everything in his study, the one room in the house that's always locked. Reagan leaned forward, lowering her voice. Then maybe it's time we found a way in. That evening, I came home to find Eloise, my stepsister, sitting on the front steps. Her eyes were red. Dad's acting weird, she said as I sat beside her. He's been making all these phone calls, speaking in whispers. I heard him mention Mom's name, your Mom's name, and something about offshore accounts. My heart started racing. When was this? Last night. He didn't know I was home. She wiped her eyes. Danny, what's going on? Before I could answer, my phone lit up with a text from Sergio. Found something you need to see. Can you meet now? I squeezed Eloise's hand. I don't know yet, but I'm going to find out. 20 minutes later, I was in Sergio's car, parked a block from my house. He handed me a crumpled bank statement. Found this in the recycling bin outside your house, he said. Was doing some research for work and spotted it. My hands trembled as I read the numbers. Large transfers, all made within days of Mom's death, moving through accounts I'd never seen before. This is it, I whispered. This is how he did it. Sergio touched my arm gently. What are you going to do? I folded the statement carefully and tucked it into my jacket pocket. First, I'm going to find out exactly what he's hiding in that study. Then, I took a deep breath, feeling something hard and determined settle in my chest. Then, I'm going to take back what's mine. When I got home, Leonard was still in the driveway admiring his new car in the fading light. He looked up as I approached, that same self-satisfied smile on his face. Changed your mind about checking out the interior? I smiled back, channeling every ounce of false warmth I could muster. Actually, yes. You know what? I would love to see it. As he eagerly showed me every feature of his new toy, I made mental notes of every detail, every number, every date. The car was purchased exactly 17 days after Mom's death, the same day as one of those suspicious transfers. It's really something, I said, running my hand along the dashboard. Mom would be proud. His smile flickered for just a second, so brief I almost missed it. But it was there. Guilt, fear, confirmation. That night, lying in bed, I pulled out Mom's last letter to me. Trust your instincts, mi amor, she'd written. You're stronger than you know. I touched the words gently, feeling the indent of her pen strokes under my fingers. I won't let him get away with this, Mom, I whispered into the darkness. I promise. We need to be smart about this, Reagan said, spreading documents across her kitchen table. One wrong move and Leonard could destroy everything. I nodded, studying the bank statement Sergio had found. 3 days had passed since discovering it, and we'd been gathering intel ever since. The transfers all went through some company called Horizon Ventures. Shell company, Sergio said, looking up from his laptop. I did some digging. It was registered 2 months before your mum passed away. My stomach churned. He was planning this before she even died? Look at this. Reagan pointed to her screen. Leonard's been making regular trips to the First National Bank downtown, every Tuesday like clockwork. That's his long lunch break, I said, pieces clicking into place. He always says he's meeting clients. My phone buzzed. Eloise. Dad's in his study, doors unlocked for once. Home alone. Now's our chance, I said, showing them the text. I need to get in there. I'll drive. Sergio stood up. Reagan, can you keep monitoring those accounts? Already on it. Be careful, both of you. The drive home was tense. Sergio kept glancing at me. You sure about this? Mom always said the truth comes out eventually. I gripped the door handle. I'm just helping it along. We pulled up 2 houses down. Through the living room window, I could see Leonard's silhouette moving in his study. Call me if anything feels off. Sergio squeezed my hand. I mean it, Danny. I walked casually up the driveway, phone pressed to my ear like I was on a call. The front door opened silently, thank God for Mum's insistence on WD-40 on all the hinges. Leonard's voice drifted from the study. Yes, I understand the risks. No, she doesn't suspect anything. I crept closer, my heart pounding so loud I was sure he'd hear it. The transfer needs to happen today, he continued, before anyone starts asking questions. A floorboard creaked under my foot. Leonard's voice stopped. I'll call you back, he said quickly. I darted into the kitchen just as his study door opened, grabbed a glass, filled it with water. Danielle, Leonard appeared in the doorway. When did you get home? Just now, I took a sip. Thirsty. He studied me for a moment, then smiled that fake smile I'd grown to hate. Actually, good timing. I wanted to talk to you about the insurance situation. Oh? I leaned against the counter, trying to look casual. It's more complicated than we thought. Might take months to sort out. He straightened his tie. These things happen, unfortunately. Right, I nodded. These things happen. The moment he left for his afternoon appointment, I raced to the study. Eloise met me at the door. You have maybe 20 minutes, she whispered. He forgot some papers. He'll be back for them. My hands shook as I photographed everything I could find. Bank statements, transfer records, emails. A folder labelled Maureen Final Arrangements caught my eye. Inside was Mum's real insurance policy. The one that named me as sole beneficiary. The one Leonard had hidden. Danny! Eloise hissed from the doorway. Car just pulled up. I shoved everything back in place and slipped out, heart racing. Made it to my room just as the front door opened. Forgot my briefcase, Leonard called up the stairs. That evening, I met Sergio and Reagan at our favourite diner. The vinyl booth squeaked as I pulled out my phone. Look at these, I said, showing them the photos. He forged Mum's signature, changed the beneficiary to himself. That's fraud, Sergio said quietly. Serious fraud. We need to talk to someone who knows the law. Reagan pushed her fries around her plate. I might know someone. Who? Kyle. My cousin? He's a police officer now, Financial Crimes Unit. I hesitated. Can we trust him? He's solid, and he hates guys like Leonard. My phone lit up with a text from Eloise. Dad's planning something big. Overheard him booking a flight. He's running, I said, showing them the message. We need to move fast. I'll call Kyle tonight, Reagan squeezed my hand. We'll get him, Danny. Later, driving home, I passed Leonard's precious Mercedes in the driveway. The sight of it didn't hurt anymore. Instead, it filled me with determination. You picked the wrong family to mess with, I whispered, thinking of Mom's strength, her wisdom, her fierce protection of what was right. Tomorrow we'd meet with Kyle. Tomorrow we'd start bringing Leonard down. But tonight, I had evidence to organise and a promise to keep. The game was on, and Leonard had no idea what was coming. Kyle looked exactly like what you'd expect from a police officer, even in civilian clothes at a coffee shop. His eyes scanned everything, missing nothing. "Insurance fraud is hard to prove," he said, reviewing the photos on my phone. "But this is different. Multiple accounts, forged documents, clear paper trail." "He's planning to leave the country," I said. "Soon." "Then we need to move carefully." Kyle leaned forward. One wrong step and he could disappear with everything. Reagan, who'd been quiet, suddenly grabbed my arm. "Danny, look!" Through the coffee shop window, I saw Leonard's Mercedes pull into the parking lot. Eloise was with him. "Back room," Kyle said quickly. "Now." We slipped through the door just as they entered. Through the crack, I watched Eloise's face. She looked terrified. "I don't understand why we need to leave so suddenly," she was saying. "What about my job? My friends?" "It's an opportunity, sweetheart." Leonard's voice oozed fake concern. "A fresh start for both of us. And Danielle? She's an adult. She can take care of herself." My phone vibrated, a text from Sergio. "Found the shell company's real office. You need to see this." "I have to go," I whispered to Reagan and Kyle. "Keep watching them." 20 minutes later, I met Sergio outside a rundown office building downtown. "Third floor," he said. "Suite 304. The elevator was broken, so we took the stairs. The hallway smelled like old cigarettes and broken dreams. Here." Sergio pointed to a door with peeling paint. Through the frosted glass, I could make out Horizon Ventures. "It's open," I said, trying the handle. Inside was a single room with a desk, a filing cabinet, and nothing else. No computer, no phone, no signs of life. "Check the cabinet." Sergio kept watch at the door. The drawer squealed as I pulled it open. Inside, a single folder labelled Martinez Estate. "Bingo," I whispered, pulling out my phone to photograph everything. "Someone's coming," Sergio hissed. We ducked behind the desk, just as footsteps approached. The door opened. "Everything needs to go," Leonard's voice. "Shred it all." "What about the offshore accounts?" Another voice I didn't recognize. "Transfer everything by tomorrow. I don't care how." My hand shook as I hit record on my phone, capturing every word. After they left, Sergio and I waited 5 minutes before moving. "We need to get these to Kyle," I said, clutching the folder. Back at Reagan's place, Eloise was waiting for us. Her eyes were red. "He's making me pack," she said. "Says we're leaving tomorrow night." "Dubai." "Dubai?" Reagan exchanged looks with Kyle. "No extradition treaty." "There's more." Eloise pulled out her phone. I recorded him talking to his lawyer. The recording played, Leonard discussing how to liquidate assets, transfer funds, make it all disappear. "This is good," Kyle said, "really good, but we need the original documents." "They're in his safe," Eloise said, "behind the painting in his study. I've seen him open it. I know the combination." My heart raced. "When?" "He has a dinner meeting tonight, 7 to 9. "That's our window," Kyle said, "but we need to be careful. If he suspects anything—" "I'll keep him at dinner," Eloise stood up. "Text me when you're done." After she left, Kyle turned to me. "You understand the risks?" "If we're caught—" "Mom always said courage isn't about not being scared," I replied. "It's about doing what's right anyway." The plan was simple. Sergio would watch the restaurant, Reagan would monitor the house perimeter, Kyle would wait in his car around the corner, and I would get the documents. At 7:15, Eloise texted, "He's here, ordering drinks." I slipped into the house, my heart pounding. The study door opened silently. The painting swung away easily, revealing the safe. My fingers trembled as I input the combination Eloise had given me. 10, 24, 62. Click. Inside were stacks of documents, USB drives, and a manila envelope marked Contingency. My phone buzzed. Reagan. "Car just pulled up." I froze. Leonard wasn't supposed to be back for hours. "Get out now," Kyle texted. "Back door." I grabbed everything, shoved it in my bag, and ran. Behind me, I heard the front door open. "Hello?" Leonard's voice. "Anyone home?" I slipped out the back door just as his footsteps reached the study. In Kyle's car, my hands wouldn't stop shaking. "Did you get everything?" he asked. I opened my bag, showing him the contents. Everything. Good, he said, starting the engine. Because tomorrow, Leonard Hudson is going to learn exactly what justice feels like. The flight to Dubai leaves at 11 p.m. tomorrow, Kyle said, spreading the documents across his desk at the police station. We need to move before then. Dawn was breaking outside, and we'd been up all night reviewing what we'd found in Leonard's safe. The evidence was damning. Forged signatures, falsified bank statements, offshore account details. Look at this, Reagan pointed to a document. He started moving money the day after your mum went into hospice. My coffee cup cracked in my grip. He knew exactly what he was doing. There's something else, Sergio said quietly, holding up a USB drive we'd found. You need to see this. He plugged it into Kyle's computer. Video files appeared. Security footage from Mum's hospital room. Leonard, alone with her, papers spread across her bed. Turn up the volume, Kyle said. Just sign here, Maureen. Leonard's voice crackled through the speakers. It's for Danielle's future, I promise. My mother's hand, weak and shaking, signing documents she couldn't possibly read. That's elder abuse, Kyle said, his jaw tight, and fraud. We've got him. My phone buzzed. Eloise. Dad's acting weird, packing everything. Says we're leaving tonight instead. He knows, I said, showing them the message. He must have realized the safe was opened. We need to move now, Kyle stood up, before he runs. I'll call Judge Martinez, Reagan said. She owes me a favor. We can get the arrest warrant fast-tracked. No, I said, an idea forming. I have a better plan. 2 hours later, I walked into our house like nothing was wrong. Leonard was in the kitchen, talking rapidly on his phone. Yes, tonight. Change the tickets to tonight. I don't care about the cost. He hung up when he saw me. Danielle, I was just about to call you. Family emergency, Eloise and I need to travel. To Dubai? I interrupted, watching his face pale. Funny timing. How did you… Mom told me something before she died, I said, pulling out my phone. Want to hear it? I played the recording I'd found on the USB drive, one Leonard clearly didn't know existed. Mom's voice, weak but clear. If anything happens to me, watch Leonard. He's been asking about the insurance, about the accounts. Don't trust him, mi amor. Leonard's face turned from white to red. That's not… You can't. Can't what? Tell the truth? I stepped closer. Or did you think nobody would notice how you forced my dying mother to sign away her estate? His hand shot out, grabbing my arm. You don't understand. Let go of her. Sergio's voice came from the doorway. He'd been waiting outside, just as planned. Leonard released me, backing away. This is ridiculous. I'm calling my lawyer. Go ahead, I said, nodding toward the window where Kyle's unmarked police car had just pulled up. I'm sure they'd love to explain the elder abuse charges. You're bluffing, Leonard said, but his voice shook. Am I? I pulled out the documents from the safe. These say otherwise. So does the security footage. So do the offshore account records. His eyes darted to the door, calculating. Don't, Sergio warned, blocking the exit. What do you want? Leonard's voice was barely a whisper. Everything, I said. Every penny you stole, every account you opened, every lie you told. And you're going to give it all back. Or what? Or in about 30 seconds, Officer Kyle is going to walk through that door with a warrant. Your choice. Leonard's shoulders sagged. For the first time, I saw him for what he really was. A coward. The accounts, he said. I can transfer them back. Already done, Reagan's voice came from behind him. She'd slipped in through the back door. The bank's fraud department has been very helpful. Leonard sank into a chair, defeated. Outside, more police cars pulled up. One more thing, I said, pulling out Mom's letter, the real one, found in the safe. You're going to sign a confession. For her. Kyle entered, handcuffs ready. Leonard Hudson, you're under arrest for fraud, elder abuse. As they led him out, Eloise appeared at the top of the stairs, suitcase forgotten beside her. I'm sorry, she whispered. I should have said something sooner. I hugged her tight. You did the right thing when it mattered. Outside, they were putting Leonard in the police car. Our neighbours watched from their windows as his precious Mercedes was towed away. Evidence now. Your mum would be proud, Sergio said, taking my hand. I watched Leonard's car disappear around the corner, thinking of Mom's words. Trust your instincts, mi amor. She was right. She always was. It's not over, Kyle warned, joining us. There'll be trials, paperwork. I know, I said, but for the first time since Mom died, I can breathe again. The morning sun broke through the clouds, warming my face. Sometimes, justice feels exactly like this, like light breaking through darkness, like truth finally setting you free. The courthouse corridor felt colder than it should for a summer morning. Leonard's preliminary hearing was set to start in 20 minutes, and my stomach was doing backflips. Remember, Kyle said, adjusting his tie, stick to the facts. Don't let his lawyer rattle you. A door opened down the hall. Leonard emerged, flanked by his attorney. He looked smaller somehow, his designer suit hanging loose on his frame after 2 weeks in custody. Danielle, he called out, starting toward me. 2 bailiffs moved to block his path. Don't engage, Reagan whispered, squeezing my arm. But Leonard wasn't done. You're making a terrible mistake. I can explain everything. Save it for the judge, Kyle stepped between us. Your mother would be ashamed, Leonard spat. Something snapped inside me. I turned to face him. You don't get to talk about her, not anymore. Miss Martinez? A court clerk appeared. They're ready for you. The courtroom was smaller than I expected. Leonard's lawyer, a sharp-faced woman in an expensive suit, watched me like a hawk as I took the stand. Please state your name for the record. Danielle Martinez. Ms. Martinez, Leonard's lawyer approached. Isn't it true that your stepfather handled all your mother's financial affairs while she was ill? Yes, but... And isn't it also true that your mother trusted him completely with these matters? She trusted him because he lied to her. Objection, the lawyer said. Speculation? Sustained, the judge replied. The questions continued, each one trying to twist the truth, to make Leonard look like a caring stepfather rather than the thief he was. And the night you broke into Mr. Hudson's safe, the lawyer smiled coldly. Did you have permission to do that? Before I could answer, the courtroom door burst open. A woman in a business suit rushed in, whispering urgently to the prosecutor. Your Honor? The prosecutor stood. We've just received new evidence that's critical to this case. Leonard's face went pale. The new evidence was a video, security footage from Mum's bank, showing Leonard using her ID to access her safety deposit box 3 days before she died. The contents of that box, Kyle testified later, included Mrs. Martinez's original will and trust documents. Documents that Mr. Hudson claimed were lost. During a recess, Eloise found me in the hallway. There's more, she said, her voice shaking. Dad's secretary just came forward. She has emails, lots of them, planning all of this months before your mum got sick. Why didn't she speak up sooner? He was blackmailing her too. Eloise handed me her phone. Read these. The emails were damning. Leonard had orchestrated everything, planning each step of his deception with cold precision. Back in the courtroom, Leonard's lawyer looked rattled. Your Honor, we request a brief continuance to review this new evidence. Denied, the judge said. Mr. Hudson, please approach the bench. Leonard stood, his legs shaking visibly. Given the overwhelming evidence of fraud, elder abuse, and attempted flight, I'm denying bail. This case will proceed to trial. As they led Leonard away, he turned to me one last time. I can still fix this, he pleaded. Just tell them you made a mistake. The only mistake, I said clearly, was trusting you with Mom's life. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited with cameras and microphones. Kyle helped us navigate through them to his car. What happens now? Eloise asked, once we were safely inside. Now, Kyle said, we build an airtight case. That secretary's testimony is going to be crucial. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. You think you've won? There's more you don't know. Meet me at Riverside Park, 8 p.m. Come alone. I showed it to Kyle. Could be a trap, he said. Could also be someone else Leonard scammed. I'm going, I said, but I won't be alone. That evening, with Kyle and Sergio hidden nearby, I walked to the designated meeting spot. A woman emerged from the shadows, middle-aged, well-dressed, familiar somehow. "I'm Patricia," she said, "Leonard's first wife." My heart skipped. First wife? There were others between me and your mother. She pulled out a thick envelope. And we all have stories to tell. As she shared her story, pieces of a larger puzzle fell into place. Leonard hadn't just stolen from Mom. He'd done this before, multiple times. "Why come forward now?" I asked. "Because you did what none of us could," she said. "You stood up to him, and now we all will." Walking back to where Sergio waited, I felt lighter somehow. Mom always said the truth has a way of bringing people together. "You okay?" Sergio asked. I nodded, thinking of Patricia's words, of all the women Leonard had hurt. "We're not done yet," I said. "Not even close." The night air carried the scent of jasmine, Mom's favourite. Somewhere out there I knew she was watching, finally seeing justice unfold. 5 women, Kyle said, spreading photos across his desk. All married to Leonard between 1998 and 2019. All lost their savings. Patricia had brought more than just her story. She'd brought evidence. Years of bank statements, marriage certificates, divorce papers, and photographs. "He always targeted wealthy widows," Patricia explained, pointing to each photo. "Sarah in 98, me in 03, Maria in 08, Jessica in 13, Rebecca in 16, and then my mum," I finished quietly. Reagan, who'd been typing furiously on her laptop, looked up. Found something. Each time he used different shell companies, but the pattern's identical. "The trial's in 3 days," Kyle said. "This changes everything." My phone buzzed. A text from Leonard's lawyer. "My client wants to make a deal." "No deals," I said, showing Kyle the message. "He faces everything he's done." The door burst open. Eloise rushed in, face flushed. "Dad's trying to contact his overseas accounts. I just overheard his lawyer on the phone." Kyle grabbed his keys. "We need to freeze those accounts now." "Already done," a voice said from the doorway. A woman in an FBI jacket entered. "Agent Roberts, we've been tracking Mr. Hudson's activities for months." "Months?" I stood up. "You knew about this?" "We knew something was happening, but couldn't prove it. Your evidence broke the case wide open." Suddenly, all our phones buzzed simultaneously. Breaking news alert. Local businessman Leonard Hudson escapes custody during hospital transport. "What hospital transport?" Kyle demanded. "He wasn't scheduled for any." "It was a fake transfer order." Agent Roberts was already on her radio. "All units suspect is—" "The Mercedes," I interrupted. "He'll go for the Mercedes." "It's in police impound," Kyle started. "No," Eloise pulled up her phone. "It was released this morning. Some paperwork mix-up. It's back at the house." "He's running," Reagan said, "just like he planned before." "Not this time," I grabbed my keys. "I know where he'll go first." 20 minutes later, we watched Leonard's Mercedes pull up to First National Bank. He'd changed clothes, but his movements were frantic. "He's after the safety deposit box," Patricia said from the back seat. "There's always a backup plan with Leonard." Kyle's voice crackled over our earpieces. "All units hold position. Let him enter the building." We watched Leonard disappear inside. 5 minutes later, he emerged clutching a small bag. "Now!" Kyle's voice commanded. Police cars appeared from every direction. Leonard froze, then ran straight toward where Sergio had parked our car. "Got you," Sergio muttered, stepping out to block his path. Leonard changed direction, heading for an alley, but Reagan was there, and beyond her, Patricia and the other wives formed a line. "Enough running," Patricia called out. "Face what you've done." Leonard spun around, trapped. His eyes met mine as I stepped forward. "You're just like your mother," he snarled, never knowing when to let go. "No," I said. "I'm the one who learned when to hold on, to the truth." He lunged suddenly, but Kyle was faster. The takedown was quick, professional. The bag Leonard carried split open, spilling bearer bonds and cash across the pavement. "Add attempted escape and theft to the charges," Agent Roberts said, snapping handcuffs on him. As they led him away, Eloise approached him. "Why, Dad? All these women, all these lives." Because he could, Patricia answered for him. Until now. Later that night, we gathered at Mom's favourite restaurant. Patricia and the other wives shared stories, not of victimhood, but of survival. To Maureen, Patricia raised her glass, who raised a daughter strong enough to stop him. And to all of us, Sarah added, for finding each other. My phone lit up with a message from Kyle. Leonard's talking, full confession, it's over. But it wasn't over. It was just beginning. Looking around the table at these women, survivors, fighters, mothers, I saw something Mum always talked about, the strength of truth, the power of standing together. There's one more thing, Patricia said, pulling out an old photo. Your mother wasn't just another victim, Danielle. She was the one who first suspected Leonard's pattern. She'd been gathering evidence quietly for months before she got sick. The photo showed Mom at her desk surrounded by papers. On top was a file labelled Hudson Cases. She knew, I whispered. She knew, Patricia squeezed my hand, and she trusted you would finish what she started. Outside, the city lights twinkled like stars. Somewhere in a cell, Leonard was finally facing the consequences of his actions. But here, in this moment, surrounded by the unbreakable bonds of shared experience and justice, I felt Mom's presence stronger than ever. The truth had won, just like she always said it would. The courtroom fell silent as Leonard was led in for sentencing. Gone was his designer suit, replaced by prison orange. Gone was his arrogant smile, replaced by defeat. All rise, the bailiff called out. I stood between Eloise and Patricia with Sergio, Reagan and the other wives filling the row behind us. Kyle sat near the front, his testimony having sealed Leonard's fate days earlier. Before I deliver the sentence, Judge Thompson said, would any of the victims like to make a statement? Patricia stepped forward first. Her voice shook but grew stronger with each word. You took more than money from us, Leonard. You took our trust, our dignity, our faith in love itself. Sarah went next, then Maria, Jessica, and Rebecca. Each story added another layer to Leonard's crimes, another life he'd tried to destroy. Finally, it was my turn. Your Honour, I began, looking directly at Leonard. My mother taught me that true strength isn't about taking from others, it's about standing up for what's right. Leonard wouldn't meet my eyes. She knew what you were, I continued. Even while she was dying, she fought to protect others from you. This sentence isn't just for me or for her. It's for every woman you ever targeted. Mr. Hudson, the judge leaned forward. Do you have anything to say? Leonard stood slowly. I never meant to. Save it, Eloise interrupted, standing up. For once in your life, Dad, just tell the truth. The silence stretched for a long moment before Leonard's shoulders slumped. I did it, he said quietly. All of it. I'm sorry. Leonard Hudson, Judge Thompson's voice filled the courtroom, for multiple counts of fraud, elder abuse, theft, and attempted escape, I sentence you to 25 years in federal prison. Additionally, you are ordered to make full restitution to all victims. The gavel struck with finality. As they led Leonard away, Eloise rushed out of the courtroom. I found her in the hallway, tears streaming down her face. He actually admitted it, she whispered. After all this time. Sometimes the truth wins. I hugged her tight. Ms. Martinez? Agent Roberts approached. There's something you need to see. She led us to a conference room where Kyle waited with a stack of files. We found these in Leonard's storage unit, he said. Your mother's original research. She'd been tracking his activities for years. The files contained detailed notes, bank records, even photographs. Mom had documented everything. There's more, Agent Roberts said. She left this for you. She handed me a sealed envelope. Inside was a letter dated just days before Mom died. Mi amor, if you're reading this, then you've discovered the truth about Leonard. I'm sorry I couldn't tell you directly. He was watching too closely, but I knew you would figure it out. You have my strength, my determination, and most importantly, my heart for justice. The evidence is all here. Use it wisely. And remember, Sometimes the biggest victories come from helping others heal. Te amo siempre, Mama. Look at this. Reagan pointed to a document. Your mom had set up a foundation to help victims of financial fraud. The paperwork was all ready. We could still do it, Patricia said. All of us together, help other women spot the warning signs. The Maureen Martinez Foundation, Eloise suggested, for justice and healing. My phone buzzed. A message from the bank. Leonard's overseas accounts had been seized. The restitution payments would begin immediately. It's really over, Sarah breathed. No, I said, holding up Mom's letter. It's just beginning. Outside the courthouse, reporters waited with cameras and microphones. Ms. Martinez, how do you feel about the sentence? What message do you have for other fraud victims? I looked at the women beside me, no longer victims but survivors, warriors, family. Justice isn't just about punishment, I said into the microphones. It's about healing, about turning pain into purpose. And the foundation? Another reporter asked. My mother believed in protecting others, I replied. The Maureen Martinez Foundation will continue that work. Because the truth is, there are more Leonard Hudsons out there. But now, there are more of us standing ready to stop them. Later that evening, we gathered at Mom's favourite spot in Riverside Park. The setting sun painted the sky in shades of orange and pink, her favourite colours. To Maureen, Patricia raised a glass, who started this fight. To us, Eloise added, who finished it. And to the truth, I said softly, which always finds its way home. As twilight settled over the city, I felt Mom's presence stronger than ever. She'd known all along, not just about Leonard's crimes, but about the strength we'd find together. Sometimes justice looks like a prison sentence. Sometimes it looks like women standing together, turning their pain into purpose. And sometimes, just sometimes, it looks exactly like this. A sunset, a promise kept, and a mother's legacy living on through the truth she fought to protect. The key turned smoothly in the lock as I opened the doors to our new office. Sunlight streamed through the windows, illuminating the freshly painted walls and the sign that read, The Maureen Martinez Foundation, protecting those who need it most. Perfect timing, Reagan called from behind me, carrying a box of supplies. The first support group starts in an hour. Patricia and Sarah were already setting up chairs in a circle while Eloise arranged coffee and pastries on a side table. The room felt alive with purpose. First client's here, Sergio poked his head in. Says her name's Amanda. A woman in her 50s entered hesitantly, clutching her purse. I saw the news coverage about Leonard, she said. My new husband. He's been asking about my savings. You're in the right place. Patricia stepped forward, guiding her to a chair. Tell us everything. As Amanda shared her story, more women arrived. Each one carried a similar weight. The suspicion that something wasn't right, the fear of being foolish, the shame of potential betrayal. I thought I was alone, Amanda wiped her eyes. That I was stupid for suspecting. You're not stupid, I said firmly. You're smart. You're here. That's the first step. My phone buzzed. A text from Kyle. Just interviewed Leonard. He gave up 2 more accomplices. We're closing in. Ladies, I addressed the group, I want to show you something. I pulled up our new database on the projector screen, a comprehensive system tracking fraud patterns, red flags, and reported scams. Knowledge is power, Sarah explained. We're building a network. When someone spots a pattern, everyone benefits. Like your mother did, Eloise added softly. A knock at the door interrupted us. Agent Roberts entered, carrying a familiar-looking box. Found this in another storage unit, she said. Thought you should have it. Inside were Mom's personal effects from her office, photos, notebooks, and a small wooden box I'd never seen before. The lid was engraved with words in Spanish. Para mi hija valiente, for my brave daughter. Inside was Mom's favourite necklace, a simple gold chain with a compass pendant, and a note, to help others find their way home. Excuse me, a new voice said. We turned to see a young woman in the doorway. I saw your foundation mentioned in the Leonard Hudson case. I'm a lawyer. I want to help. More people arrived throughout the morning, financial advisors offering services, tech experts volunteering to enhance our database, survivors wanting to share their stories and help others. Your mum would love this, Sergio said, watching the office fill with activity. She does love it. I touched the compass pendant. She's here in every person we help. Amanda approached me, determination replacing her earlier fear. I'm going to the bank today, she said, to secure my accounts. Would someone come with me? We all will, Patricia said. The other women nodded. That's what we do here, I explained. No one fights alone anymore. As we gathered our things to accompany Amanda, I noticed Eloise staring at Leonard's old Mercedes through the window. We'd reclaimed it in the settlement, and now it sat in our parking lot, transformed into a symbol of victory. What should we do with it? She asked. I smiled. Sell it. Use the money to help more people. Perfect, she hugged me. Dad's pride turning into something good. The office hummed with energy, phones ringing, women sharing stories, experts offering advice. On the wall, Mom's photo watched over it all, her smile knowing and proud. Ready? Reagan called out, holding the door as our group prepared to escort Amanda to the bank. I touched the compass pendant once more, feeling its steady weight against my chest. Mom had known all along that justice wasn't just about punishing the guilty. It was about protecting the vulnerable, about turning victims into warriors. Ready, I said, joining the group of women who had become more than survivors, more than friends. We had become a force for change, a network of strength, a family forged in truth. Outside, the city stretched before us, full of people who might need our help, full of battles yet to be fought. But now we were ready, armed with knowledge, united in purpose, carrying forward a legacy of justice and hope. Mom always said that the truth finds its way home. Looking at these women, strong, determined, unafraid, I realized that sometimes home isn't a place at all. Sometimes it's a mission, a purpose, a promise kept. And sometimes it's simply the knowledge that no matter what darkness lies ahead, we'll face it together, guided by the compass of truth and the strength of those who came before us. That's not just justice, that's victory.